welcome. This is Erica Glessing, and you're joining me for the Erica Glessing Show, where you receive 8 minutes of inspiration. And my guest today is so inspirational. I've actually known Connie Viveros for quite some time, and she's done so much good work in the world along the lines of literacy, women empowerment, helping girls grow, helping women be empowered. I just love everything she does, and I'm so excited to have her with us today. We're going to talk a little bit about philanthropy and inspiration. So how are you, Connie?
Hi, Erica. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to have this conversation.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the Inspired Heart Foundation. That's definitely one of your brainchild babies.
Yes. And it came about largely in part because of the relief work I do internationally. And I was in a coaching session with a client. We were doing a workshop one weekend, and somebody said to me, "My gosh, Connie, every woman needs this work."
Wow.
That planted a seed and inspired us to imagine women in the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area, because it's such a high touch process. Every woman to sit in circle with other women and share, and to create the tools of confidence, empowerment, and upliftment. And it was just remarkable that we threw the net out. We enrolled our first cohort of women in 2017. We took them through a 9-month-long process of really delivering just the simple tools, self-worth, confidence, allowing them to stand in front of other women and speak from their heart. The results, Erica, I can't even tell you, were off the charts, remarkable. The transformations that occurred by very simple, basic tools. And it's been an exciting trajectory. We just finished our second year with our second group of women, taking them through a 9-month-long process. Once again,
what do you think like stops self-esteem and self-confidence? Like, what are some of the things that derail women from being in this kind of empowered, inspired state?
Well, I think for the most part, it is recognizing that there are thousands of women living right here in the San Francisco Bay Area who desperately need support and who are living right above, if not at the poverty line. And with that, life struggle becomes debilitating and defeating. There is this sense of just trying to survive, just trying to make it through. They have little room or opportunity, Erica, in their lives to do much more. And any day of the week, you can open up a newspaper and there's literally hundreds of offerings, empowerment workshops and women conferences and teleseminars that you can go on. They just don't have the opportunity. Many of them come with high price points. And we have found that given the opportunity and the availability for women to participate in some of this, they're all in. They're all in. The first few groups that I took through the process, I asked the question, how many of you have sat in circle with other women before just to share vulnerably and openly? Not a single hand was raised. Can you imagine? We take it for granted, those of us who are sort of on that trajectory of self-awareness and self-development. And yet the women who are living in this sort of high risk survival stage in their life, little opportunity to participate in these life-changing, life-informing opportunities.
So tell me now, I just can't not ask you about the book that you worked on with girls in Uganda, because I know that was such a dear project to your heart, and it took you out of the country, but tell me a little bit about that project and the result from that.
Thank you for the question. I think for the most part, my involvement in women empowerment came by the work that I was doing in Africa. When I traveled there over 10 years, the first time over 10 years ago, I walked away from that experience with this, hard to reconcile it, that we can even have this level of poverty that exists in our world today. There's enough resources for everyone, surely. And so the book came about by my decade-long involvement with education and girl empowerment in these regions of Africa. And there was a woman that I met who traveled to Africa to volunteer, and I recommended that this organization be one that might be a good fit for her. And upon her arriving there, she wanted to help. Like, how can I infuse my skill, my talent with this, demographic of women on earth? And writing was her skill set. She hosted a writing workshop, and from that, 16 girls' stories were then compiled into a book. We Have Something to Say. I remember brainstorming the title with her.
Yeah.
What is it? What's the title? It's like these girls from the slums in the decade-long journey, the times that I've been there, they have something to say. They have value. They have worth. Imagine a book. If we could put their words to paper, publish it, the value and worth that they would feel from their own selves.
Absolutely. So dear to my own heart, Connie. I'm so grateful that you guys did that work in the world. So tell us the exact name and where we can find the book.
Well, the book can be found at Girl Up Initiative Uganda. It's also available on Amazon.
Nice.
We Have Something to Say, True Stories from Adolescent Girls Growing Up in the Slums of Kampala. My organization that I do locally is called the Inspired Heart Foundation. It's where we do 9-month-long programs, enroll women in the upliftment, empowerment, and increasing levels of self-esteem so that the past doesn't have to be a continuation of their future.
I am just so glad we met, and it seems like we've met a couple of times, and I'm just so grateful to run into you and see the work you're doing in the world. And I encourage everyone to go over and catch up with Connie Viveros. And Connie, tell us again the domain for your nonprofit.
It's called inspiredheartfoundation.org, and truly it is one empowered woman can change the world, and we, you, me, have the opportunity to empower that woman.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.